Okay, next we'll move on to Nebraska, the best 3-win team in the country a year ago.
All right, here we go.
3-9, one and
Yeah.
eight in conference, and they scored the same number of points in the conference as they allowed. Their point differential in the conference was 0, and they went 1-8.
Yeah.
30th per F plus a year ago. Scott Frost is entering his 5th season, and for the first time, he will not have Adrian Martinez as his quarterback. Most likely, it will be Casey Thompson, the Texas transfer. Pretty good running back room.
Yep.
One of the big stories in the offseason is they got O'Shawn Mathis, the transfer from TCU. They have good linebackers. But to me, I think the number one key maybe to this team is just the fact that they hired Mark Whipple, the offensive coordinator from Pitt. Do you like that hire?
How could you not? I think, okay, first off, at Nebraska, you have nothing to lose. Like if you're Scott Frost, from Scott Frost's standpoint, he literally had 0 things to lose because he was almost out the door last year. It went 3-9. Like it was all so close to working, and it failed miserably because at the end of the day, football's a bottom line, like win loss. It's so absolute. Like there's not much gray area there for them. They were they were the best 3-9 team of all time. Like they had 0 score differential. 0. Like how is that
10,
possible? Yeah, how's that possible to do that? It's not
and go 1-8.
Right. It couldn't be replicated. To lose of the 9 games you played, you lost 8 of them, and somehow the score was the same. They lost by 1 score to Oklahoma last year. They lost, I think the Ohio State score, it was close, and then I think Ohio State got up late, if I remember right.
Yeah.
But the Michigan game, they should have beat Michigan. They really should have beat Michigan. There was so much. Nebraska is must-watch TV this year.
Yeah,
it is absolutely
true.
Must watch. You have to watch Nebraska this year. They do play Oklahoma again in the non-conference. You're missing Ohio State, which is huge. You don't have to play Ohio State. You get Michigan still in the crossover. So, okay, sorry. You asked me about the offensive coordinator, Mark Whipple. Coming from Pitt, right? This is, I think it feels like it should be a slam dunk, at least from Nebraska's standpoint, because you have not much to lose. You get to pair him with Casey Thompson, potentially, maybe do some cool things, trying to catch lightning in a jar, maybe like they did with Kenny Pickett at Pitt last year. What's your opinion? Like, I'm for it. Like, I think it's something you do.
I'm absolutely a fan of the offensive coordinator hire. Mark Whipple did an excellent job at Pitt last year. By the way, speaking of that, did you see the quote recently from Pat Narduzzi talking about Mark Whipple?
I did not.
Okay, so this is Pat Narduzzi, Pittsburgh's coach. Obviously, Mark Whipple was their offensive coordinator a year ago, and they had their best season in a long time.
They did,
Their quarterback was a Heisman finalist. Yeah, they just great offense. Anyway, this is a quote, Pat Narduzzi. Our old offensive coordinator had no desire to run the ball. Everybody knew it. He was stubborn. Wake Forest was 118th in run defense, and we threw the ball every down. When we ran it for 10 yards, but that wasn't good enough. So last year, Wake Forest lost to this Pitt team 45-21. Yes, this game where he is complaining about the offensive play calling, they put up 45 points in Wake Forest. And he said they ran it for 10 yards every time they ran it. They actually averaged like 2.1 yards per run in that game. I think it was even less. It was still under 5 after you take out sacks. So a few weeks ago, we did the ACC preview, and we both took the over on Pitt. I feel a little worse about it now. and it's honestly just incredible to me that Pat Narduzzi, who just had his most successful season at Pitt, won the ACC because of Mark Whipple, just goes and trashes him because of a game where they scored 45 points against a good Wake Forest team.
I wonder how much of that is just sour grapes, like after he's gone, or how much of that maybe that's how Narduzzi is. Like
that is how Narduzzi is.
Like that's kind of just who that guy is, and so maybe that's why he decides to go to Nebraska, be offensive coordinator over there. Like that's more fun, maybe.
I think he's.
I tell you what.
Yeah, go ahead.
Nebraska would be thrilled for something like 45 points in a game. Yeah. Like we don't really care how we get it. We would just love to have 45 points in the game. They would have won so many of those games last year.
Yep.
what was that Oklahoma score? Like that defense balled against Oklahoma
23
last
to
year.
16.
Yeah. Okay. Some reason I was thinking 20 to 13. Maybe, yeah, they could have more.
23 points allowed to Oklahoma is pretty dang good.
Really good. That's still a Lincoln Riley offense. What about Michigan? What was the Michigan score from last year?
It was 32 to 29.
Okay. So, and was that overtime? Did that one
go
to? No, that was at
so.
the buzzer.
The Michigan State game went to overtime. That was 23 to 20.
Okay. Yeah. Wow.
So.
Wow. I forgot about the Michigan State game.
Yeah.
Geez. Okay. You're going to push me here for a number, aren't you? You want to?
Yeah. By the way, they're over-unders at 7.5 wins.
Yeah.
Are you still thinking about it, or are you ready to make a call?
Let's go. I'm going to go under. We're going to go 7-5. Apologies, to all you guys. I kind of really hype up Nebraska for the whole thing because it's going to be drastic improvement from the 3-9, right?
Yeah,
drastic improvement. 7-5. I think you go bowling, and I think Scott Frost saves his job. So if it's possible to you're not gonna beat Vegas, right? You're not going to hit the Vegas over, but you're still going to go 7-5. Scott Frost saves his job. Skylar Thompson, sneaky good.
Casey Thompson
is sneaky good. I kind of like that. I'm okay with that. I'm on board with that. I feel decent about Nebraska this year.
Yeah, I actually really like this team and what they did in the offseason with Mark Whipple and Casey Thompson. I just feel like he will run the offense that Scott Frost wants to run so much better than Adrian Martinez ever did because he can complete a pass forward. Anyway.
I gotcha. All right.
Just based on the principle of the matter and what we've seen from Nebraska in the last 4 years, I have to go under. I don't really hold to it strongly. My brain kind of disagrees with me. It's more just a principle play. I'll start taking overs. I'll pick them to win 8 games, which I've actually seen it happen, or something close to it. And yeah, like you said, you're predicting to go to a bowl game. I'm with you on that. I think 7-5 would have to feel like a pretty tremendous success compared to the last 4 years under Frost. So I think it'll be a much improved Nebraska team. I'll go 7-5. Wouldn't be shocked by even more than that. So yeah, I think we agree kind of on how that should look.
I really wish we wouldn't have agreed on that one.
I know.
I really wanted some. I did not know your picks. I know none of your selections, by the way.
Right.
And you know none
Same.
of mine. So I was really hoping that we would have a strong disagreement there, because I think that you value the new aged offense too much.
Okay.
Personally, I think that you fall in love with the guys that, because it is from an analytics standpoint, it is correct to sit there and try to air the ball, to score a whole bunch of points, right? And to go for twos, and to go on
not
fourth
necessarily
downs.
They go for twos, no, but to go for fourth down more often than people do. Yeah, don't punt from your own 40, or don't punt at the other team's 40 on 4th and 3. Stop it.
I agreed with most of that. I really do. But I think we undervalue the Iowas of the world. Maybe we'll get into it maybe once we get into Michigan State next week, just to see, kind of judge us both, because I know where I'm at with both of those teams, and I feel like you're going to be on the other side, not we need some disagreement here, I think is what I'm saying, because we actually disagree way more than what we're letting on right now. Yeah. So the Nebraska number is a good number. I think Vegas it feels like Vegas is they're preparing for a bunch of money, because Nebraska's famous for last year. That was the greatest 3-9 team of all time, right? And so everyone's going to be jumping all over that. And so now they're everyone's going to be betting Nebraska when Nebraska is actually just going to be pretty good. So yeah, I like the under. I guess we agree. Whatever. I wish we didn't, but we do.
Yeah. By the way, I just push back just a little bit on the offense thing. I'm totally fine with running the ball if you're good at it. I think I have a problem with the Iowas of the world who want to run on every single first down and turn it into 2nd and 8.
But they win football games though, huh? At some point, no, okay, Iowa has nowhere near the talent of teams that they actively beat. Like they're less talented than teams that they're beating.
But I would argue most of that is because their defense, and then also like the turnover luck and stuff a year ago. Like that was a 6-6 team last year, 7-5 maybe.
But like the defense and the running game complement each other. Like it's the running the football makes so that your defense isn't out there near as much. It makes there's fewer possessions in the game. It keeps the game tight, and it keeps like kind of aired out offenses. I think offenses that are used to scoring a whole bunch of points, when they go up against a team like that, suddenly the first quarter's over and they've had the ball once. And it's just like a little feeling of panic almost. Like we should be out there just running the ball like up and down the field. Like why don't we have 21 points yet? Like, well, you don't have the ball. Like that's why. And then so it's like just like a little bit of freak out. And then that team begins to press, which is only better for the Iowas of the world. Like I think it's not just an offensive philosophy. It's a whole like football scheme and mindset. And I think that's what like it's undervalued in certain teams. And I think that like Iowa does it as well as anyone. I think Minnesota's like sneaky good at it. I really think Minnesota's good at it. So yeah, like I think it's what Michigan State did last year for the most part, like to a lot of success. And to some, it's what Georgia does, like a little bit. Like Georgia kind of buys into that, where I'm frustrated as anyone when we don't freaking throw the ball and score. Like I want to score 45 like everyone else. And we don't really get into that, but like it's a whole scheme, and it's like it's undervalued. I think it's undervalued, that scheme.
Well, I think, please don't mischaracterize what I'm saying. I don't think there's any issue with running the ball as often as some of these teams do. But if you're going to have to throw it occasionally, and I do think you're a lot better off throwing it on 1st and 10 when the defense doesn't know what's coming than on 3rd and 7 because you just ran it into the pile twice in a row. And yeah, if you want to run the ball a couple times or 2/3 of the time, that's fine. But your Georgia Bulldogs, yeah, they ran it a lot. They also let Stetson Bennett throw the ball to Brock Bowers on 1st down every once in a while. And there would be nothing wrong with the Iowas of the world calling a few more passes on 1st and 10, because if you have a quarterback who's not very good, it's a lot easier to make a throw on 1st and 10 when the defense doesn't know what you're going to do than when it's 3rd and 7 and you know exactly what you're going to do. So you're going to have to throw it occasionally. You don't have to throw it the most. You don't have to throw it more than you run it. If your identity is based on the run, that's fine. But if you run, pass every single series, you are hurting yourself. Guaranteed.
I understand that. And no one has been more frustrated than watching run, pass. Run on 1st down, run on 2nd down, play action on 3rd down is the worst version of offense in the history of offenses. I dislike it a lot. Okay, but here's where I'm going with it. If you're Vanderbilt, you have 0 things to lose. 0 things to lose. Go to the triple option. Why not? I know their coach
in favor.
Their coach actually said that they're going to they got a vote to win the SEC this year from a media member, like a credible media. They got 1 vote. Like, I don't know who did that. Someone did. But like they have nothing to lose. Like they're going to lose every single game to every single SEC opponent again. But like go to it. At least you're a change of pace. At least you make them prepare for something they haven't seen before. Sure. And just teams maul these lesser talented teams who I think if you go to the triple option, try to do what Navy did or Air Force or Georgia Southern has beaten multiple SEC opponents by just one. They only beat Florida. But they took Georgia to overtime and they ran the ball a whole bunch on Alabama one year by doing these things that are very hard for teams to prepare for. And yeah, like teams like Vanderbilt, Georgia Tech should go back to the triple option. Northwestern, we'll talk about them in a bit. Like try it, give it a shot. That's my point, and I'm done.
Yeah, I actually don't disagree with anything you just said. I do think that the triple option would be a good option, no pun intended, for some of these teams that are not actually trying to like seriously compete for conference titles, but like you want to go bowling or something like that, and you want to be hard to prepare for because you know you're going to have a talent deficiency. That is completely different than what an Iowa does, for example. The triple option actually it involves some creativity, and yeah, I don't know. I just think that run, pass every series is kind of the opposite of that. But anyway, we were just talking about Nebraska, wrapping it up. We both agree on the under, but we both feel they could go over. Is that fair?
Yeah, definite improvement, and we think they'll go bowling, and I think Scott Frost will save his job.
Okay.